Hey, what's up? Zach here, and let's talk sport and recovery slides for spring and summer. These are my 5 favorite. Here we go. And also, before I get into the top 5, I probably should give you a primer on what the not top 5 would look like. And that would be super soft, squishy sandals that have really tight toe boxes. I'm seeing so many of these sandals, and I'm guessing it's a fashion thing, where it's like just this little porthole in the toes. A lot of these basketball companies are coming out with these just all foamer slides that are super soft foam, which trap a ton of moisture around your foot. And the whole point of a sandal is to let the toes air out, right? Let the toes spread, like let them free, right? Just to give yourself some air. So why are they making them? I do not understand that trend right now. You want something that's going to allow openness on there. And like I said, if you want a super soft, squishy sandal, that's great, go for it. You have one life to live, whatever makes you happy, but I would really only wear those for what I call passive recovery. That's sitting on the couch, sitting on the bench, getting up, going to the bathroom, getting something to eat, like not for active walking or kind of moving around a lot. Because like I said, those soft, squishy foams that allow a lot of toggling back and forth like this are just going to make your leg muscles more tired instead of allowing you to recover. All right, and coming in at number 5, and these are really in no particular order. Each one of these has a reason why they're on the list, and I will make sure I go through that way you kind of can decide which one's the top one for you. But coming in at number 5 is the Nike ReactX Rejuvenate. Now, the ReactX Rejuvenate slide as well as the slip-on, if you're looking for something closed-toed, I'll get into those in a second, but shocker, the ReactX Rejuvenate is going to be in there too. The reason I like this is a lot of times ReactX foam is really squishy, right? And it's really unsupportive, especially in something like the Pegasus Premium, where I kind of hate it, versus in the Structure Premium, the Structure Plus, it's fantastic. In these ones, it's dense enough, like they've cased it enough, it's dense enough, it's wide enough that it provides enough support, but also it's super forgiving. The other thing I like about it is it has high walls. And so these walls that come up just give your heel just a little bit more support, right? A slide is never gonna be as good as a shoe, right, in terms of heel support, but it gives you a little bit more. It also is rocker geometry. I don't love a ton of rocker geometry, but once it breaks in, right, like my pair that's broken in is now a little bit more flat, like a little bit more of a normal gait on these. You still get a nice wide open toe, but it holds you in okay. It doesn't hold you in the best of any of the sandals, but it holds you in okay. And so in terms of active recovery, a tuned foam, like I said, ReactX is kind of like Adidas Light Strike. It can be really great or really horrible. And so in these ones, it was perfect. All right, and coming in at number 4 is the one that I helped design, and that is the one I'm wearing right now, and that is the Xenon Zen Slide. Now, the reason I like these, or I should say the reason I designed them the way I did, is because I wanted a sandal that had a really long, broad arch, but that wasn't super aggressive like a lot of orthotics, like a lot of customs I make. And so I kind of took inspiration from a lot of the orthotics I give to people that hate orthotics. And so that's why I like these so much, because it is a nice long broad arch. The strap actually needs broken in on these ones because it holds your foot in a little bit better. So where these do take longer to break in than something like the ReactX Rejuvenate, you get a little bit more of a custom molded fit. Plus you've got the dual density foam, the rubberized EVA on the bottom, and then the supercritical TPE on the top. And so you're kind of getting a little bit of best of both worlds. Plus there is an X plate on the bottom to keep these more secure to your foot so they don't slap your heel. Plates on the bottom of sandals don't do anything really in terms of performance or anything like that. It basically is keeping the sandal more stable. And then on the bottom, it's just a little bit more geometric on the bottom, like I said, to keep it from toggling. So hence, of course, I'm gonna put these on here. I helped design them because I took a lot of the things that I wanted to see in other sandals and put them in these. Okay, so coming in number 3 is a series of slides, and that is the Crocs Classic Slides, the Crocs Saturday Slides, the Crocs Baya Slides, or the Crocs Classic Clog. Not the Mellow, okay? That's the one I would say is not on this list. The reason I like Crocs so much, number 1, same as the ReactX Rejuvenate, high-walled rear foot, keeps you a little more stable. You do have the option of having the strap on them, like the Schrox right here. The foam in them is EVA, right? It's like a lot of other ones, but it's a lot more dense. It's a little bit more water resistant than some other EVA slides out there, the casing on them or the coating. A little bit better. They just fit a little bit nicer. And if you get the clog or the slide, they just allow a lot of breathing in the toes, even if you want something closed toe, which I will get to in a second. I like the Baya and the Saturday a lot because they have the same arch structure, the same geometry. So really any of those you get, honestly, I don't really care. I think all of them are good. But in terms of something for a nice wide heel, a nice broad arch, and a little bit more of a durable foam setup for things like athlete's foot, for things like blisters, hot spots, you know, everything like that, as well as for durability of the structure of the slide, Crocs is still, I'd say, one of the benchmarks out there. And coming in at number 2 is a slide that's been on this channel, I think, since the beginning, and that is the Hoka Aura recovery slide. These things, although they are a little bit high off the ground, so if you are an ankle sprainer, I probably would ditch those for something a little bit lower to the ground like the Zens. They have such a nice, comfortable, broad arch, breathable strap, you know, just forgiving fit, and like Crocs, they have a durable foam setup in them, even though, like I said, a lot of these slides have a very similar foam setup, save for the React X Rejuvenate as well as the Zens. They just do better with the coating, with the durability profile of that foam versus a lot of the other foamer slides that you see out there that like every company is just pumping out like crazy. So if you want something like for, I would say some of the broadest arch support out there, thickest foam setup, the Aura recovery slide is still one of the best. And before I get to the number 1 slide, I just do want to go through my top 5 favorite slip-on like recovery shoes. So closed-heeled, closed-toed. That would be 1, Nike React X Rejuvenate in the closed-toed. 2, the Adidas Pure Chill, which looks strangely like the React X Rejuvenate, but they're both absolutely fantastic. Next would obviously be the classic Croc, and last but not least, the Under Armour SlipSpeed. That one is a little bit more closed off, but the slip-on plus pop-up heel benefits of those, plus you get 2 different sizes of foam you can choose from. Those ones, love them. All right, but coming in at number 1, and the only reason I put this at number 1 is because it's a newcomer, and that is the Adidas Pure Chill slides. I like these mainly for the geometry. Once again, it's another EVA slide, so very similar to the other ones, but it's a nice stable slide with a lot of breathing, a lot of room for your toes. Very similar, once again, to the React X Rejuvenate. Interesting that the Rejuvenates and then the Pure Chills look very similar. I guess there's not a lot I guess you can do with slip-on recovery footwear, but they look very similar. But they also function very similar, right? They're also very, very good. But once again, you know, when you get into the recovery footwear space, there's only so much variability you're going to get in styles because there's things people like. And also we see with all these, they all are roughly the similar price as well. You know, you start to get into that premium recovery, you get into a very similar price range. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What have been your favorite recovery and sports slides, especially for the hot, humid months? Love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you do want to see a primer on really, like I said, kind of more deeper dive into my thoughts on very soft, squishy slides like the OOFOS, make sure you click into this video right here. And if you want to see what my favorite orthotics are for recovery and foot pain, make sure you click into this video right here. See you in the next video.